This is the help video for Word Chapter 4, Pause and Practice 4.2. On the left of my screen, I have the instructions from your SimNet book. On the right, I have the Word document as it exists at the end of 4.2. I do not have to rename it because I already have it named to the ending file. So what we're going to do is we're going to spend some time making this table look a little bit better. And so we're going to apply some styles, we're going to do some borders, change it up a little bit, and this is going to be what it's going to look like at the end. Okay. So first thing we need to do is select our table and Table Design tab, and we want to select header, banded, and first column. And really mine are already selected, and I suspect yours is too. Just validate. If they don't have a check mark, put the check mark in it. So there should be check marks in front of header, banded, and first column. Okay, so now we want to apply a style, and we're looking for this grid table 5 dark accent 3. So to get there, I'm in my styles gallery and I don't see that, so I have to pull this use this more button to open up my gallery, and I just start looking for, okay, so I just happened to land on grid table 5 dark, right? So then I'm going to move over and look for accent 3. And I know it's this green because I'm looking at the instructions. So let's just verify. Grid, table 5, dark, accent 3. That's exactly what I want. So I'm going to click on that, and it applies that style. So if you notice, the header is dark green with a white text, as is column 1, and then column 2, every other row is a different lighter green, and the text is black. So that's good, but I want to tweak it a little bit more. I want to adjust it a little bit more. So we're going to select just the first row, okay? Because what I want to do is I want to put a dark border at the top of the table, at the top of row 1, okay? So in the borders group, we want to select the borders button, not the button, but the down arrow, and we're going to go down to borders and shading because we have some changes that we want to do. So first of all, look, we can't see anything because the color is white. So let's see, we're going to do custom because we're not picking anything special. So I can see everything. I'm going to switch the color up first. So we want it to be, see how it's white? We want it to be black, text 1. And then we want to make sure it is the solid line, which it should be, but just verify it's that solid line. And we're going to make the width of the line a little bit thicker. So we're going to go down to 1.5 points and solid line. Then we're going to come over here to our image, and we're just going to click on right here in the picture. So we're saying apply that line, that border at the top of this cell. So right now mine says table. I'm going to change it to cell. And we're saying we only want that border at the top of this cell that I have selected. I'm going to go ahead and do OK. And there is my black line at the top. So I'm going to do the bottom row, and we're going to go back and do the same thing, right? So we go to borders, borders and shading. We're going to switch the color. We're going to select custom, black, 1.5, and it now says cells. I have both of that selected. I'm going to come down here and click on that. Okay. So now my table has a black border at the top and bottom of the table. All right, so vertically aligned text in cells. So we're going to select the entire table, and we want in the table properties, the layout tab in our table, we want to pick properties. So let me go through that again. So we did layout, table. So what we're changing is against the entire table, properties. So we want to go to cell, and we want center in the vertical alignment. Okay. It shifts just a little bit. So now it's exactly center, top to bottom for within each cell. All right, so let's select the first row, which is the title. We're going to make that a little bit larger, make it 12. And so let's go to the font dialog box. So we're going to make it 12. And font color is text is black, text 1, all caps. So it's going to look like this. So you can always look at this preview to see how it's looking. Okay, there we go. All right, let's take a second and save. Excuse me. So now we want to go up to the first page, and we have this text here, and the reason that this works is because of the way that these 3 lines are organized. Do you see between the word phone and the phone number there's a tab, which is what this arrow means? So these between the word and the actual item is a tab. And so what we're going to do is we're going to convert that text to a table. And in that conversion process, it's going to take everywhere that's a tab and make that the next column. So, and because there's a carriage return line feed, this becomes 1 row, 2nd row, 3rd row, and because of the tab, it's going to break it up, column 1, column 2, column 1, column 2, right? So the layout is there for us to easily convert this into a table. So we're going to select phone through Cavelli and not the blank line, right? We're going to go to insert, and then we want to find table. We're going to do the down arrow, and we're going to say convert this text to a table. And it's going to do that. It's going to say 2 rows, 2 columns, 3 rows. We're going to auto fit to contents. So however wide this text is, it's going to make the columns that wide and that deep. We're using a tab as the separator to define the different columns. Okay. So cool. So now we have that text into a table, which allows us to do some easy formatting, right? So if you look at the little answer here, it kind of looks cool, but you wouldn't really recognize that as a table. But oftentimes we put things in a table so we can use the formatting to have it look a certain way, but not really as a, if you can see me, I'm doing quotes, a table. But it's a quick way to do that. All right, so if we look at step 8, we're going to remove the borders, add custom borders and shadings, and display the table grids. So we know we're going to do all of that under this table design, and a lot of it's right here in this borders. So we're going to do the border drop down, and we're going to say no borders. We don't want borders. Even though we're in tables, like it doesn't look any different, but we're going to make it look different, right? So we're saying take those borders away. Then we're going to go back in here, down arrow, and I'm going to say, you know what, add a top border. So there's my top. I'm going to go back again and say add a bottom border. So now I have a top and bottom, and that works because I have the whole table selected. And then now we're going to go away from borders over here to shading. So I'm going to click on the shading, and 2nd row right here. Let's see if that's it. So accent or olive green, accent 3, lighter 80. That is it. So we're going to click on that. And I now have, I'm going to turn this off. So now I have this nice looking table, and it looks good. So if you ever wanted to see whether or not this is a table, I'm in layout, I'm in the table, right here, view grid lines, and it's going to show you the underlying data, right? So you can toggle that on and off. So you can see where the table, how the table is composed. Okay, we're going to save it, and we are done with Pause and Practice 4.2. Thank you.